Bonjour, bon dia, bon dia, buongiorno, salam, bienvenue. That's welcome in French, isn't it? It's been a hot minute since I made a video, but I'm here now. Welcome. You might notice something a little bit different about me, and that is this right here, this bad boy on my upper lip. Yeah, it's a symbolic measure of how I've kind of given up on life recently. You know, I've been a little bit down and out. School's been rough, life's been rough. It's bad. So I figured, what better way to cope than to grow something disgusting on my face? Actually, though, I kind of like it, but that's not the focal point of this video. What we're actually going to talk about today is the fact that Tinder sucks and you should probably delete it. Please don't sue me, Tinder gods. Thank you very much. No, but honestly, so the past couple months, I actually decided that I was going to take a break from dating apps, so I deleted them all. This was on January 1st, and I spent about 2 months kind of just, doing my own thing, having some fun, enjoying life, without this constant pressure of having to go like swipe through people and whatever. Don't get me wrong though, because sometimes, you end up just kind of sitting there and you're like, yeah. And if you're anything like most guys, you probably get sick of doing this. So yeah, you end up now wanting to go download it again because you don't want to go back to what we just showed there. But then a couple days in, you realize that it's definitely not worth it. You might get a couple of matches, or if you're like me and you're some amazing, beautiful model. And when you first make an account, it basically puts you at the top of the list, right? The way it works in simple terms, it's kind of like this ranking system. And when you're new, or if you are like considered hot by the app, you're generally shown more. So then you see all these impending matches, and most guys are like, okay, swipe right, swipe right, swipe right. So then after a few days, your matches start to trickle out and you start to feel like shit about yourself. The girls that you did match with, you're like, damn, yeah, I can get some really cute girls here. They don't respond back to you, or they just want you to follow them on Instagram, or they're just visiting. Maybe that's your thing. But yeah, like you don't really get a good connection. And it kind of forces you to not make like genuine connections with people in general, I find. Like you're not going to ever talk to someone that you find attractive. You're not going to ever just interact with people. I find phones in general make people super, super socially awkward almost. You're walking somewhere and people don't even look at you in the eye anymore. They look down, they try to avoid eye contact with you, and you're like, what's wrong with you? I used to think it was me, but then I notice it more and more and more, and maybe it is me. I don't know. But I just feel like there's something more going on here with apps in general. And this isn't just Tinder's fault or any of the other dating apps out there. This is just a product of being some kind of phone society where we're always on our phones. Now, anyways, back to actual Tinder itself. The reason why it's bad for you and the reason why I deleted it is because you feel like you need to be constantly on the app, swiping away. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on some opportunity. But the worst thing is that when you actually make a connection with somebody, if something goes wrong, you have so many other options, mostly for girls, to be quite honest with you. Girls have a lot more options than guys. It's kind of this like friction going on. The supply of men is much higher than the demand of men, right? So women have the buying power here in a heterosexual relationship. I'm not sure how this would work maybe in a same-sex relationship. But I'm no expert on that, right? So I'm not entirely sure. I've known some friends who use Grindr, and it's a lot easier for them, but also I don't think it's really for dating. It's more just for casual things. But anyway, what I found when I've been hanging out with girls from Tinder is that I'm always wondering, okay, so when's our expiry date? And that's a really unhealthy way to think about things, especially if you want to build a meaningful connection. You can't be thinking about when is it going to go wrong. Thinking about an expiry date is really not healthy. More so too, knowing the fact that you can be replaced so easily is kind of disheartening. And knowing that they have so many other options out there. And it goes for guys too. I mean, I'm sure women feel this as well. So I don't want to be one-sided in my opinions and say Tinder's just bad for guys. I'm sure it's terrible for girls too, because they have a lot of trashy guys hitting on them. And I've talked to girls about this, and I've gone through their apps with them, And it's just really bad. Like the stuff that guys send girls is just, what are you doing, guys? Like if you want to hook up with them, you probably should have messaged them something super creepy to get going with. And if you want to date them, even more so. And don't just say hey. I mean, that's the worst possible thing. But girls on Bumble always say hey, even though they complain about guys saying hey all the time. I don't like Bumble for this reason. Bumble, please don't sue me either. Now, I deleted it for 2 months, and then I got bored, so I decided to download it. And I was going to do a whole skit for this video where I download it and go through my matches, but then I just kind of forgot, so that's not happening anymore. Now I'm just using it, and I find myself a slave to the app again. So in these 2 months that I didn't have it, I found that I was forced to kind of get out of my shell a little bit and talk to girls and talk to people in general and be much more social. Instead of sitting at home and lying on your bed, swiping away, you can now have to go out and talk to people. And that's rare, right? You don't do that very often these days. You don't have to with the luxuries that we have. But it's just so bad for your self-esteem, I find. And you're constantly comparing yourself to other people and wondering how they're faring on the app. But you know what? It's not just for the average guy, like a guy like me. I have a friend, he's Spanish, and he's tall, and he has incredible bone structure. And he doesn't even do well with it. Like he doesn't like it at all. This guy, mind you, has how it counts your likes waiting for you? Like it says 99 plus, I'm sure it's more like 500 plus, but he doesn't know how to talk to the girls, and most girls don't reply. And so it's not just a product of how you look, but also you have to know how to game the system. For example, last night I was messaging girls on his phone for fun because there was no stakes for me, right? It was a low stakes environment. And so I could just say whatever I wanted. And I actually got him a date. He's not actually going to go on it, but he was very surprised about what I was saying. So, for example, what I was saying is I basically was like, can I use you for your citizenship? Because he doesn't have Canadian citizenship, right? She was super down with this joke. And I said, okay, well, we're going to get married tomorrow, maybe at City Hall or whatever. Whatever I was saying, I don't know. I was a few beers in. So it's a little bit foggy at this point. But when it's not your own account, you can say these sorts of things and you don't necessarily care. That being said, I treat it more like a game, and I just say random shit, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Some girls are probably like, this guy is crazy. Rightfully so. I'm a little bit crazy sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's really bad for you, and you shouldn't use it, especially if you're in a really bad spot in your life, because it's probably just going to make things worse. And now, excuse me while I take a hydration break. It's very important to stay hydrated, especially if you're hungover like I am. In general, I don't think it's really good for you to be using these sorts of things. And I think that people should maybe use them as a secondary tool to dating and not their primary tool. I think people should be going out and being bold. Being bold is kind of really important, I think. Going out there and making connections with people and just doing your own thing. Don't rely on this app to find your future husband or wife. It's probably not going to happen. Actually, well, that's not true. I heard a stat where 40% of US people are now finding their significant other on dating apps. Probably not Tinder, but that's a pretty high statistic. So it looks like nowadays we have to go on these apps. That said, though, there are some decent apps out there. In fact, I've been using Hinge, and I think it's more serious. And what I like about it is that you are forced to read someone's profile and you have to comment on it, and then they can match with you based on your comment. And I think that's really special because it allows you to create an instant sort of connection. And the app itself says, we're designed to be deleted. Of course, they have to make money, so they want to keep you on it. But I think there's a bit more of a genuine connection aspect there. Okay, so another thing I want to mention too is that with Tinder, they want to keep you on it as well. If you notice, they have all of these premium options that if you buy them, you're kind of a sucker for, to be quite honest with you. Unless, of course, it's a free trial, go for it. But yeah, they want to keep you on it. And I think that's why they throttle your likes. They want you to buy more likes if you run out of them, or you can boost your profile. So this ranking system pushes you below. And it's almost artificial in what it's doing. And because like the business model is that they want you to subscribe, they want you to be on this app, so they don't want you to delete it, right? They want you to keep continuously using it and become addicted to it. And it is very addictive in nature, right? It's almost like a game. I would definitely avoid using Tinder for serious things, but I use it like a game, and it's kind of fun sometimes. And that's that. I would take it with a grain of salt, but otherwise you should probably delete it. It's not the best thing to use. It's not good for you at all. It's not good for your self-esteem, and it makes you feel like crap. And if you feel really, really crappy about yourself and things aren't going your way right now, maybe take a break from it. Delete it for a couple months like I did. I was actually going to go a whole year without using dating apps, and then I realized that in my schedule and my daily life that I'm not going to meet someone otherwise. So I need to have this as a secondary kind of thing, but I'm not focusing on it. I know how it makes me feel, and I know how it makes other people feel. I've talked to women and I've talked to men who want to delete it, but they don't, because it's the crux, right? There's this crux where you almost need it these days, especially if you're kind of lonely and you want to meet somebody. But don't put too much emphasis on it, and maybe hide it in your phone. Like put it in a folder, like on the third page of the folder. That way you're not constantly checking it. Turn off notifications from it too. That helps a lot, because when you have notifications, you're constantly checking your phone to see if that person replied. And don't get too bummed out if someone's really attractive and they don't reply to you. I mean, it's an app and people use it to gain followers. People use it for fun. It's nothing against you. And if people ghost you from it, fuck them. Who cares, right? It makes you sad. Trust me, I've been there. But it's not worth getting so heartbroken over, because these people aren't really that great anyways if they're going to ghost you. No one deserves to be ghosted. If you don't like someone, be honest. Tell them that you don't like them in a nice way. And honestly, I've had girls do that to me, and it actually feels a lot better, because you're not left with any questions or anything like that. So, yeah. All I'm saying is that you should probably delete Tinder for a short period of time, because it's probably not doing you any good, especially if you've been on it for a very long time. And maybe delete the other apps as well. Take some time for yourself. It's really important to focus on what you want to do, what you like, and just enjoy your own company. I think that's really important. People don't know how to enjoy their own company anymore. Everyone sees on social media, their friends are surrounded by people. They're going for drinks, they're going to different restaurants, they're going skiing or snowboarding or whatever they're doing. And so we feel this constant pressure, like we have to be surrounded by people too. But it's really important to enjoy your own company. I mean, get a good book, sit on your couch, read it in the afternoon, go for a walk, go to a cafe, treat yourself. Honestly, dating yourself is really good. And it sounds super cheesy, but I've enjoyed it a lot in my little break that I took from these dating apps. And I think it's good to reset every once in a while. I will leave you with this. Delete the app if you need to, because it's always good to take a break and reset yourself. But if you have a busy schedule, perhaps you should keep it if there's no other way of you meeting people. But don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? Get out there and actually meet people too. I encourage you to do that, but take time for yourself. So with that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching, as per usual. And if you like the video, give it a real like down below. Subscribe, click the notification bell. Follow me on some form of social media. I only have Instagram, so follow me there. But reach out, comment your thoughts as well if you have any, and let me know if you've taken a detox or if you need to. Until next time, catch you later.